Good morning, Zio here, and today we're talking Nintendo and Steam Deck. Yeah, this works. Grab yourself some coffee, sit back, relax, and let's get into it, shall we? Now, this particular story is one that I missed a few weeks ago, apparently. Probably we should have talked about much sooner, but I kind of just found all this stuff the other day when it comes to this. But yeah, Nintendo is going hard against the Steam Deck. They don't like it. You could almost say that they're running scared for some reason, which is weird because honestly, Nintendo has kind of cornered that market. The only real competitor to Nintendo in the handheld market was PlayStation at one point with the PSP and the PS Vita, and they royally screwed up when it came to the PS Vita when they had a system that beat the DS 1,000 times over, in my opinion, of course. And Sony completely screwed it up. So I don't really see the Steam Deck replacing the Switch anytime soon. However, it does give them some kind of competition. Now, exactly are we talking about Nintendo? I'm sure you can see the thingy on the screen, but yeah, this is essentially it. Nintendo is not happy. They're abusing the DMCA system once again, which is nothing new. We've talked about this, and Nintendo has this really weird relationship when it comes to emulation. Now, what exactly is going on? Apparently, there were people out there who was showing off the Steam Deck, and they were showing different things, and they were showing that Yuzu, which is a Switch emulator, by the way. Yes, the Switch is emulatable. Yes, there's a lot of games on it, and yes, most games that come out on the Switch are emulated by day one. I know this for a fact. But yeah, anyway, I can't explain why, but I know these things. And they were essentially showing the capabilities of the Steam Deck, right? The fact that you could run this emulator on the Steam Deck, and they showed off some footage of the emulation running on the Steam Deck. Now, Nintendo has no right to pull these sort of things down. They don't have any legal recourse to do so, but they're doing it anyway. Yeah, we can come over here to Reset Error of all things, where there was somebody posting about where these videos had been suddenly no longer available. The creator pretty much came out and said that, Nintendo DMCA'd it. They took it down. Now, Nintendo has this weird relationship when it comes to emulation. Nintendo, one, is super anti-emulation, which sucks. It really does. But at the same time, they're super for emulation when they do it. And you're probably asking yourself, what do you mean? Well, they released these things called the NES Mini and the Super NES Mini, and one of those two systems, I can't remember which one, I'm pretty sure it was the NES Mini, because people were like, whoa, Nintendo, what gives here? And then they changed it up and did their own little thing for the SNES. I'm not quite sure on the details. It's been a hot minute. But they essentially poached some free emulation software off the interwebs, and spruced it up a little, gave it a UI that looked more their sort of thing, and then shipped it out in the retro system as their own, right? That's what they did. And of course, most anything else that is running on consoles, for the most part, that are running old games, are using some form of emulation software already. And which is why I don't knock emulation software or anything else like that, just due to the fact that, it kind of is required even for the name brand people to run, say, the PS1 games. They've got a PS1 emulation, on the system in order to actually run it and stuff like that. So I'm not gonna, I don't really knock that sort of thing, but Nintendo has this real love and hate relationship. And then there was a time, I can't remember what it was, but there was I can't speak. Anyway, there was a time where they actually had downloaded a ROM hack or something, I can't quite remember, and released it as a onto their virtual console kind of deal, and then everyone found out that this was like a ROM hack, right? Because I guess they couldn't find the original ROM for it in their stuff, which is also not an uncommon thing when it comes to these companies, especially Nintendo, when you have thousands upon thousands in your libraries and you just no longer have the ROMs anymore for particular titles. But yeah, apparently if you show it on the Steam Deck, Nintendo will come for you, is the moral of this story, right? Nintendo will come for you, they will come a-knocking, and they will rip your video down if you stream or show videos of Switch gameplay on the Steam Deck. Now, of course, they don't have any legal right to that. We can talk about the gray areas of, say, copyright, gaming, game footage, and things like that all day long. However, it doesn't really apply here. See, these videos are about the Steam Deck and not about Metroid Dread or Mario Odyssey or anything else like that. These videos are generally showing off what the Steam Deck is capable of doing, what it can run, what you can run on it. And if that means that you can run Nintendo's Switch emulation and play Metroid Dread on your Steam Deck, that is totally a legal thing that they can do. If Nintendo actually had to fight that in court, I don't think they would win. Unless somebody somewhere is just really, really dumb. The only problem is, of course, nobody has the money to fight that sort of fight, right? Most of the time, they don't. In fact, emulation itself is this weird thing where, if you go out and say, download a game, we'll say Legend of Zelda Link to the Past, old Super NES game. You download that ROM and don't actually own that game, that is technically considered piracy, right? And, I can't tell you to do things like that. However, at the same time, piracy is kind of like the only way to get a hold of some of these games. Like, I want to say Evo by Enix is a old Super Nintendo game that I don't think has ever seen the light of day outside of its initial release for the SNES. There's no virtual port for it. There's no virtual console thing for it. The only way for you to get a hold of that game is to pay several $100s for a cart and get a hold of a working SNES or some other system that can run SNES games, like the Retro 8 or whatever it was called. And that's like the only way for you to properly play that game legally. So in my opinion, if you want to go sell the high seas for such a thing, be my guest, because I'm also all about preservation, and Nintendo is not very keen with that for whatever reason, because they really, really want to make money off of it. If anything, I guess they're a little bit on the greedy side when it comes to that, in my opinion. But there are things that you just can't get without going some illicit ways, I guess, is the best way to put it. But yeah, that's where we're at. If you show an emulation from Nintendo on the Steam Deck, they are more than likely going to come knocking on your door. Now, somebody like myself probably can get away with it just due to the fact that, there's not many of you out there subscriber wise and following me. Therefore, Nintendo is probably never going to see that video. I mean, they might. YouTube might actually recommend it to them if they actually search Steam Deck and like Switch emulation. So I'd have to title it something crazy so it doesn't pop up in a search result, of course. You know, but like somebody like myself could probably get away with it. Meanwhile, larger channels of some kind of substance, anyone who's got like 10,000 plus or 5,000 plus, you know, subscribers, probably can't get away with actually doing that without Nintendo knocking on their door and pulling it down. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Nintendo abusing the DMCA again, because they don't want people to realize that the Steam Deck could also be your Switch console. Nah, seriously. Use the emulation software is great. It will do everything except for allow you to pretty much like connect to the net and use the net settings and stuff. So, you know, armed with that information, do what you will with it. But yeah, that's all I got. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I will talk to you later. See ya.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment, smash that like button, and always subscribe for more. And of course, there are other videos floating around somewhere on the screen, so click one of those and see if you can find something that suits your fancy. Till then, I'll see you later. Bye.